not the money. Write it down. Change the skill set. The skill set will give you the money. So if you listen to this today and you see yourself as a person of value, want to have more, do more, and live a better life yourself, in order for you to have that success in life, you have to become more. You have to be more than you were yesterday.
Hello everyone, here is Elizabeth from Germany. I'm so super excited to be doing this video actually. I just want to give a big shout to one of my mentors. He's called Augustine. Augustine is such a wonderful man who is always ready to give results. When I got in contact with this man, he expanded my mind actually. He made me realize the kind of person I am. He helped me really to organize myself and also to aspire to be somebody a greater person actually. So listen, if you're looking for somebody to do something with, to do business with, somebody who can be a wonderful mentor to you, Augustine is the right person. So all the way from Germany, Düsseldorf, I just want to say bye. Thanks very much.
Hi guys, my name is Emmanuel and Popa. I'm from Romania, and I just want to give very quick shout out to Mr. Augustine OJ, who had a massive impact in my life, in my personal life, career, and I learned so much from this individual. This is an exceptional leader that travels around the world and gathers so much knowledge in one single package. It's incredible, his mentality, his way of delivering things, because this is something unique. That's what you want to stay close to, this type of person. When I met him, I wanted to make a change. I didn't know exactly what to do. I just wanted to do something. So he showed me the way, and through his coaching and his leadership, I managed to create beautiful results in my personal life, in my career line. So big thank you to Mr. Augustine. Bless you, and I do recommend everybody to get involved with Mr. Augustine. Thank you very much. Blessings. Bye.
Let's go. Good evening, everybody. My friend Ali, good to have you on here. How you doing, my friend?
Amazing, boss. How are you?
I'm doing phenomenal. We just wanted to warm the house, prior to our discussion this evening, and I just want to give it to you for taking your precious time all the way in the United States, time out of family, time out of business, to really tune in, so that you can give value to, our people, our audience watching live. So how's it going anyway, wherever you are?
It is going amazing. Happy St. Patrick's Day to all the amazing people from the United States and all around the world who celebrate him. I had to put the green in the background because I wanted to make sure no one misses this right here. You got to see that logo. It's got to stand out for you. And I'm also got some green juice in here. I had to start a little bit. I learned about this detox thing for the very first time. I'm not part of any health and wellness company or anything. It's just doing it for myself. So today I'm drinking my very first green drink, and what a better way to start than St. Patrick's Day. So I'm excited to be here. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for the impact that you are creating in the marketplace. And I'm ready to have some fun.
Wow, I'm honored. I think you have to get me on this green thing because I need to detox myself. I had too much chicken on holiday, and I think I need to detox those things out. So for sure, after this, I think you should give me the recipe.
Yeah.
Take it out.
Yeah, I'm down as long as you're ready to commit, because it's no solid food for 5 days, nothing but fluids.
I'm ready.
Let's do it. There you go. All right, right on.
Wow. It's an honor. It's an honor to share such a great platform with an incredible individual like yourself. Hey guys, before I actually go into anything, I wanted you guys to know the individual we have on today's show or today's talk is somebody I have a high level of respect for. When I came across him and I got to learn about what he's done and what he's doing, I knew that he was somebody to really align myself with on a daily basis, and not just right now, but for the future as well. So, before I even go into today's topic, I just wanted you guys to know that the individual is called Mr. Ali Mehdaoui. He's literally not just a coach. but he's a father. He loves his family. I always, getting inspired by the things I see on the backhand. He's always giving a shout out to his wife on his page, and I'm like, wow, this man is a true individual that not just by what he says, but he actually walk and talk exactly what he does on a daily basis. And that's why I get really humble to work with him, and also to be able to invite you on a platform such like this to share some knowledge. But before we actually go into that, guys, hey, drop a 7. Make sure you follow Mr. Ali Mehdaoui on Facebook. You're gonna follow him on every platform because he's got some juice and some greens to give you as well. Okay, so make sure you
Literally.
literally. Okay. All right. So, Mr. Ali, it's an honor to have you. Just like I said, before we actually go into that, our platform is actually to help people elevate. And today, I just really wanted to open it talking about the journey of entrepreneur. We live in the digital age, and we see a lot of flashy stuff going left, right, center. Everyone is trying to be an entrepreneur. Everybody's calling themselves entrepreneur. And I just wanted to share your story before we go into that. What is your story, Ali?
Yeah, so the fast forward version, I've come to the United States about going on 20 years ago, from San Mino, English, working as a busboy, dishwasher. Fast forward later on, met the love of my life in high school. We've dated for a couple of years, married immediately after we did a little bit of college, started in a restaurant business, worked 90 hours a week while she was working as well. Then realized real quick, this ain't working out. In other words, you get married, newlywed, and you're working 90 hours a week. There's not much of a wedding at all. So out of desperation to find a solution, I had a buddy of mine who would call me repeatedly. Oh, I'm working with the millionaires. I'm working with Donald Trump billionaires. I'm working with this and I'm working with that. And I knew that he was involved in a network marketing opportunity because of his approach. But I also knew that he wasn't the right partnership in a way for me, because I'm like, man, you're just hyping stuff up. And what ended up happening is he showed up, literally 3 months of phone calls. He showed up in the restaurant one day, and I'm like, listen, I'm busy. I go from in the kitchen, and I go from the back door, and I'll leave. Then he shows up in my house over the weekend, like, hey, I'm like, dude, I was just gonna call you back. All sincerity, I was not. So he goes like, all I need you to give me is 10 minutes. I said, you got 20. Come on in. And I'm forever grateful for him. Doug Minute, he changed my life forever, because within the first 5 minutes, he puts a DVD player. For those of you children, that's a compact disc that we used to watch videos on back in the day. A DVD player, and I see Tony Robbins, Zig Ziglar, just Darren Hardy, the greats of all greats that we all follow and watch. Les Brown, they're talking about residual income, changing your life, being in control, financial freedom. And I was like, I don't know what you're doing, but I'm in. He's like, well, I didn't even show you the opportunity yet. Those were just some people that I look up to. I'm like, sure. He shows me the opportunity. It was a $500 opportunity to start. I started for myself and for my wife, grabbed 2 positions. Now, my very first time ever in business. And I saw the fast start bonus. You can make $1,000 back in 30 days by referring 2 people. I was like, I know 2 people. So I didn't refer anybody for a year. And I never made $1,000 back. But at the end of that year, I realized that I was doing exactly what he was doing, right? Like sometimes we copy those who enroll us in business. And I was telling everybody who I was working with, and everybody's like, dude, I know you work 90 hours a week in a restaurant you hate. Like, you are not living the financial life that you're claiming. And I decided on the end of my first year, I'm about to become a professional. So I went to my boss and I said, hey, so I know this is going to sound crazy. I am the master chef of the kitchen. I am the heartbeat of the restaurant, but I want to leave every Friday at 5 p.m. Now, this is a restaurant, and you want to leave Friday at 5 p.m. I'm like, and on Saturday, I'm not going to come until 1 p.m. in the afternoon. Wow. And on my vacation time that I get every 6 months, I usually get 2 weeks a year. Like, so every 3 months, I'm going to take 3 to 4 days, and those are going to be my vacations. Now, if you do the math, what was happening? I left on Friday because it was Friday night leadership. I came on Saturday because there was Saturday opportunity meetings in the morning. and on 3 days to 4 days were conventions. So he was like, there's no way I could do this. I was like, however, I will work 7 days a week. You call me, hey, something is missing, I'll show up. And I've done that for a year. And within a year, I doubled my income in the restaurant and I resigned. I was like, I'm out. He was not too happy. He thought I set him up, but it is what it is. He was mad because I made his life cozy for a year straight. And then he had to go back to work, essentially. So from there, we've started traditional businesses and written a book and an audiobook that did very, very well, spoke all over the world, 500 conferences, worked with over 70,000 individuals overall to achieve their core values, and just did about $2 billion of sales over the last 14 going on 15 years. And I've had the privilege to work and meet individuals like yourself. And, the journey continues. The journey continues.
Wow. Hey guys, drop what you're learning in the chat if you really love, Mr. Ali's story. That's powerful, Ali. I'm just asking myself, what made you just get on board that day? You work in the kitchen, so you have no clue about business. In terms you work for a business, you were not running a business, and you just make a defining moment decision to say, get me on board. I'm willing to give it a try, but I'm willing to go all in after a few months. So what was the change? What was that push? What was the reason why behind you making that decision?
My character, like, I'm naturally a decisive person.
Okay.
But I have to take something seriously in order for me to like you can show up with the hottest car and the fanciest clothing and all the jewelry, and I'd be like, whatever, I'm just gonna move on. Like it doesn't faze me, right? But the moment I had like a concentrated 5 minutes to myself, what I really got to see, okay, these guys are speaking to my soul. I was already hurting in silence. And it was a moment where you're like, okay, you have that self-talk. Are you going to keep on lying and BSing your way out of this? Or are we going to actually call it for what it is? Like, you really need to do something different. So I took a little bit of a gamble on myself, and I was like, I'm worth it. And, it was just that enough is enough kind of emotion. And we went for it. I mean, it was the best decision I've ever made.
Wow. Truly inspiring. I love that, because many people, just like I said, in this day and age, a lot of people call themselves entrepreneurs, and people say, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But you already know it's not what it looks like.
I can address that if you allow me. So there's a difference between an entrepreneur and a one-apreneur. A one-apreneur is somebody who just happens to be involved with a environment where there are entrepreneurs. I'll give it to you in an analogy. There are people who actually work out every single day, and there are people who have a gym membership.
Right. Okay.
There's a difference there. Like, you cannot say, I'm an athlete while you just have a membership in a gym. So you cannot say you're an entrepreneur while you just have a membership in a network marketing opportunity or a business model, period. Like, you actually have to show up, and you have to do the required activities, and you have to fail before you succeed. Just like in the gym, you have to be weak before you become strong. So the word entrepreneur became a cool thing over the last 10 years. Everybody's like, I'm an entrepreneur, Gary Vee made it cool for all of us. But in all sincerity, 99% of the people we come across don't understand what entrepreneurship really means. And that's not an insult. It's just a matter of people have never been trained to be entrepreneurs. We were trained and gone to school to get a traditional job and work for a specific curriculum and, pay taxes and be happy, right? So it's just a foreign idea. And the only way that you can truly be an entrepreneur is if, by definition, you take the risk, a financial and time risk, with the hope, not the guarantee, with the hope that you will be making some money back, right? Some benefit or some profit back. But with that comes your own empowered school, like School of Hard Knocks. Entrepreneurship is not taught unless you go to Harvard or Yale or, some really advanced schools. Yeah, there are business classes in universities, but, again, no disrespect to any educator, but, I never forget when, I don't remember exactly who but it was somebody who said, I realized in business class that there is a professor that is making $60,000 a year
Yeah.
who is teaching me how to start $1 million company. There's a disconnect somewhere in there, right? So there needs to be a radical shift from your mindset in order to truly be an entrepreneur.
Wow. There needs to be a radical shift in your mind to be a true entrepreneur. We talk about the journey of an entrepreneur, guys. Just like I said, and he's already laid it out there that there is the difference from somebody who is just thinking of doing something and somebody who actually doing something. Having a subscription at a gym is not the same as somebody going in there, putting in the work every single day.
Sure.
And that's why you see the difference. That's why you see the different results. Results always speaks in the field, not outside the field.
Sure.
And it's just amazing. So you guys ask, Ali, what were some of your challenges along the journey? The challenges is what most people overlook at it. They look at the shiny object today. They look at the end goal, how somebody's dressed, suited up, boosted up. But what is the process that made you Ali?
So first things first, the obstacle is the way. And if you think in any way, shape, or form that there will not be struggles, challenges, again, I'm here to tell you, you're not ready. So part of entrepreneurship is, as I like to call it, the drought. The drought is that period of time where you did everything right. You've put in the work, you spend the money, you bought the services, you hired the coaches, you got the softwares, you did everything perfectly right. And nothing is happening. So that drought is unfortunately where most entrepreneurs quit, right? They fall short from the end result. But that also is when you build your character. See, I believe that adversity is the only way for you to succeed. Adversity is the biggest deposit in your bank account. Adversity is the biggest deposit in your success. And for me personally, the real challenge was that I was pushing back on adversity, right? Or avoiding it, looking for shortcuts, looking for quicker ways, right? Looking for ways that I don't have to deal with this adversity. Where in the moment that I agreed and surrendered, and the idea of surrendering doesn't mean that you're weak. It just means all right, beach, we're going to swim. I'm going to go with the wave. I'm going to surrender, right? So I surrendered to the concept of it has to be hard before it becomes easy. And then my student mindset kicked in where I welcome challenges, right? I'm like, oh my goodness, what am I going to learn from this thing, right? And listening to your inner self. That's your potential talking to you. And 99% of the time, we shut it down with fear. What you're supposed to do. When it's time for you to go all in, when it's time for you to invest a little bit of money, but fear of what if it doesn't work? What if I don't make money back? What if this, what if that? It shuts down that inner voice, which is our potential that's telling us how great we are. And unfortunately, we end up regretting it 25 years later, saying, I wish I have done something different.
Wow. So the challenges build you up, and I guess many people trying to, skip the challenge. We just want the finished product overnight. I guess a lot of people looking, as you said, you try the means to find the easy access or the easy exit to get it done all overnight. And nobody likes pain. I think nobody likes pain. Nobody likes hurt. But I believe it's true when the hurting season that we really, when we learn what we're supposed to do right, and I guess when we actually get to build up in the moment. So
Augustine, what's interesting? Everyone knows that. Think about it. When you before you got married, you went out and you worked really, really hard to get your now wife to give you that first date. And you were nervous, scared. You had a horrible first kiss and you were like, what was I thinking? And then you had to try and hopefully get a second date. And then, all right, I'm going to try to make a better impression. And then you had a couple of fights and arguments and jealousies and flaws. And then you figured out that oh my God, you are the one that I've been fighting all this time, right? Same exact thing goes, again, working out. You go in weak, fluffy, and soft, but you have to literally physically break your muscle. You have to rip your tissues to rebuild them all over again. A job, you had to start at the bottom and learn all the skill set to make it to the top. We already know this. There is no surprises. We already know this. The problem is comfort. Everybody wants, like, I'd rather just lay back, relax, and enjoy the show than actually be in the show. Well, me, I don't know if you can't tell, I love being the show, baby. I want to be in. Put me in, coach.
In the show. Hey, guys, look, drop some comments in the chat for Mr. Ali. I hope you guys learning something. The whole point of this, today's call is for you to really learn from people who have actually done the work. A lot of people learning from people who've not done the work. Let's look into it, Ali. Before and after. One day somebody bumped into you, your friends, like, hey, you're gonna see this, you're gonna see that. You made a decision right there. So it took you a straight decision, just like you said, you're a decision maker. When something really get to your heart, not just the flashy stuff, and you feel the connection, you're really gonna take it to go. Like, what has that done for you? After putting the work, after staying committed, what change has it brought to your life? Because people want to hear that, and you've just spoken about the process. But what has it done for you if you had not taken that step and you stayed in the kitchen? If you had set no journey, if you decided to stay backward and stay where you were, tell me the difference. What had the difference like?
Yeah, had I not made that decision, had I stayed in the kitchen, I can guarantee you a few things. One, I probably would have been divorced. Two, there would not be our children, Sebastian and Isabel. Three, I probably would have been miserable, sad, smoking a pack of cigarettes a day, drinking my way out of like whatever misery that I'm in. And I know that to be a fact. Because that was where I was back then, like I was a heavy cigarette smoker, and it's like I looked for a reason to smoke a cigarette so I can walk out of the kitchen and get 5 minutes out of that stress. So I would just smoke just to get out. And then after hours, you're with the kitchen, like you have the staff like, fellas, what are we doing? It's been a long, fun night. Let's go have a drink. And one drink ends up being you're not going home until 2:00 in the morning. So I know that there would have been a lot of stress. I just can't imagine myself in that environment. And the interesting thing where I'm at now from where I was is, and unfortunately, there's a lot of individuals that could have also stepped up and could have made a positive change for themselves. But I'll use Snoop's example, Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg says, as you grow, you're going up and up and up and up and up and up and up. And at one point, you start realizing there's a gap between you and your homies, right? And he goes like, so there's two ways this is going to go. For you to hang out again with the fellas, well, you're going to have to go backwards to get back to that environment. He goes like, I refuse to do that. You want me? Step up your game and come up, right? So at one point of my life, I used to always, I tell my wife, like, man, I lost all of my friends, like I was the cool party and, cool kid in the party all the time. She's like, no, your friends lost you because you've become such a better father, a better husband, a better friend, a better overall. Like I stopped smoking, talk about decision. I went from a pack of cigarettes a day to my 27th birthday. I had my wife hated when I smoked. So I'm like, my friend, I'm like, give me a cigarette. He was like, no. Your wife is going to kill me. I'm like, man, give me that cigarette. It's my birthday. And as soon as I light it up, who's walking by? My wife. So I'm like, all right, listen, the very last cigarette ever. Now, mind you, I've been smoking for a very long time at that point. Last cigarette ever. And everybody's like, again, you talk about the gap, right? Yeah, right. Give him another drink and see what happened. Give him a cigarette and see what happened. And then they will wave cigarette smoke around me. I have never touched a cigarette since that very same day because decision was made, right? So my mindset is so strong. My emotional intelligence is spot on. My sensor to opportunities is so clear. My love for the people and love to see others grow has just like shot up in a dramatic way. And that makes me happy. Like the most, I believe the most powerful source of happiness is serving other individuals. Like, I don't care how much gifts and materialistic things you have. The moment you give a piece of bread to a homeless person, you just feel blissful. You are full, right? and I kind of use that every single day to just kind of keep the happy guy going.
Wow. Wow, that's deep. That's deep. I love how it has changed for the better. I love how, you became a better person, and I can relate to this because, working in a job environment and looking at how far and what personal development, has done for myself as well. It's really, really resonates with everything you're saying, out there. And I see that in Sebastian. I think I saw your son. He was talking about giving Nintendo's gifts or something to somebody.
Yeah, so my little guy. So obviously I try to instill certain core values within baby boy, and a big thing for us is before he ever gets anything, he has to give. Before he ever gets anything. So he won the award of Mr. Kindness in his school, right? Like they voted for him, which was pretty cool for me, right? And so he's been asking for, he's in that age of video games now, 4.5 years old, and he sees his cousins with them. So I thought, well, I told my wife, I'm like, hey, I know we're saying just wait until he really, really asks for it and he's ready, but let's just give him a little Nintendo Switch, a little console in his hand, nothing big, only the weekends. But I wanted to make sure that he understood the lesson within it. So I said, Sebastian, I have so big news for you. And I think you're going to like it. And I know if I'm like, this is like the ultimate test. If I've done my job, I'm like, so here's the first news is that me and you are about to go to Best Buy and we're going to buy a Nintendo Switch. He's like, oh, I'm like, the better news, you're going to give it away to a kid who doesn't have it. Now, mind you, he doesn't have it. Yeah. So you do that to a 4.5-year-old. So he went from excited to, man, I was like, so you see, you have a playroom and you have a little arcades and you have everything, but now you're going to have to give it to another kid. I'm like, would you want to do that? And my man, if I could tell you, I was crying in tears because he just was, yes, I love that. Let's go and give it to a kid. Now I just made this whole thing up. I don't know which kid I'm going to give it to. So he was so excited. And I was like, this is fascinating. So I had to document the whole thing. I'm like, okay, what are we about to do? And then the whole time, every time I filmed the snippet, I'm like, are you sure? Like, I'm like, is this happening? Like, is he punking me? Like, is this really happening? And I mean, all the way until we bought it. And in the counter, he's telling the guy, we're going to give it away. We're going to give it away. The whole time he's bragging to everybody in the cashier. So we came home and, I was like, hey, sit down. He's like, wow, we have to go and give it away. I'm like, sit down. I'm like, this is actually for you because you were at. It was like the happiest moment for me. But just so everybody knows, we did give a lot more away. So Sebastian has 3 envelopes every single week. So he's the chief chores officer in our company. He actually has a position in the company. So he does a lot of chores. Well, he's got to earn his living, right? So the first envelope is called give. So before he takes anything, he puts money in his give envelope. Every week he has to give. The second envelope is save. So we put like a vision board. So he puts something in it and he knows, okay, I'm saving for that. We have a dollar amount next to it and he has to manage his own emotions with money. And then, of course, there's the spend. You can spend it right now if you want to, or you can put it on the save envelope. So we give ridiculously every week, thank God. And we love that. So, because I had somebody text me, is like, so you just tricked him and never gave anything up? I'm like, yeah, you just saw that part out of all of that beauty.
Right.
Yeah. But thank you for bringing that up.
Wow. He's when I saw that, I got inspired. His energy to give it is amazing. Yeah. He's like, let's go. Let's like, he's got that. It's not like he's trying to act like Pops, I want to give it up. Give it out just to show you I want to give it up. It's just genuinely want to give it out. And I just thank God for your life and thank God for what you've done and the decision you made. Because if you had not made that decision, I think I would have probably met you along the way. And if you had not made that decision, maybe, certain things that you're doing right now, the lives you've impacted, the lives you're impacting, God is using to do wouldn't have come to pass. And, we've had a great time. And I know, look, before you go, what is the golden nuggets or the golden message you want to give to anybody out there? Number one, deciding to be an entrepreneur. Number two, who is along the journey right now, been going forward, going for their goals. They have obstacles, they have challenges, they have things happen to them. what could you tell the 20-year-old? What could you tell the 18-year-old Ali out there right now?
Yeah, so the 18, 20-year-old Ali out there right now, just take every risk possible right now. Because as you get older, you're gonna add a car one day, and then the insurance comes along with it, and then your own cell phone bill, and the resources for you to take those risks start to become limited. And then eventually, university, and then eventually you're going to, have your significant other, and eventually you want to have a house. So the longer you wait, you can do it obviously at a later date as well. But take all the risks right now, fail right now, because you can afford to fail right now. And for those who say, well, adversity is hard, why me? Well, who would you rather it to be? I mean, who would you rather it to be? Remember what I said, adversity is the biggest deposit in your bank account. I challenge anybody on homelessness, sexual abuse, physical abuse, trauma, suicidal attempt, everything you can put in a book. I've been there, done that, right? But if I look at every single thing from the 18-year-old Ali until right now, take risk right now, go for it. There's nothing that could absolutely stop you but you. And if your mind, your spirit, your even your faith is aligned with the right elements of life, I promise you're going to be okay. A good person is a better person with money. A bad person will just be a worse person with money. It's just the way it is. So money is not the root of all evil. It is the love of money that is the root of all evil. So what you need to do is have a healthy relationship with taking risk right now, failing forward right now, and man, live free forever.
And you just had it from Mr. Ali Mehdaoui. Take risks right now. The journey of an entrepreneur. You just heard an individual who's not just done it, who's not just talking about it, but really been through every season that you can ever think of. And it's just an honor to have him on here today. One thing I want to remind you of is Ali is actually the founder of Me. I think the Me is all about it's up to me, right? If I'm right.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
Me, all right? It's me that has to make it happen. So, Ali has a lot of information. Ali has a platform that is not just helping people grow, but is helping people become excellent. So if you're not following Ali right now, you want to follow Ali on every platform. He's on, Instagram. He's on Facebook. He's an individual that I'm really loving it working with him. And I look forward to, sharing different stages with this individual. So I'm very grateful, guys. Show your gratitude in the chat. Just write thank you to
Appreciate
Ali
you all
for taking time out of his busy schedule. And Mr. Ali, much love, much respect. And it's an honor to have you on here today. But thank you for taking time to serve. And we'll catch up on the next one.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, sir. The goal is to learn the skill set, not the money. Write it down. Chase the skill set. The skill set will give you the money. So if you listen to this today and you see yourself as a person of value, want to have more, do more, and live a better life yourself, in order for you to have that success in life, you have to become more. You have to be more than you were yesterday.